Hello Aries and Aries rising. This can also be used for Aries moon, incidentally. I get questions about that. Basically, if you use it for sun, rising, or moon, you just weigh it accordingly. And maybe in a later video, I'll post how you can do that. But anyway, great to see you, Aries. I'm really looking forward to seeing what information is coming through. We are well past the halfway point for this year. So this is really showing you if you're on track for if you had any New Year's resolutions, if you had a goal sort of where you wanted to be midpoint in this year. It's a really good time to check in on those goals and those dreams or aspirations. While I was meditating on your sign this month, I got a very clear idea about needing to be cautious when it comes to the context of how things are being said and received. So in particular, I got the message you need to clarify the context before you jump to a conclusion. So a really good example, and the way my guides kind of showed it to me, was a reality TV show being edited out of sequence, edited with the omission of very important points. And what happens is you get an incomplete picture of events going on in your life. So you may have an incomplete picture or not all of the data about someone in your life who may have disappointed you, made a decision that you don't agree about, whatever the case may be. I'm encouraging you this month to dig a little bit deeper and listen before you come to a conclusion. You may be missing some contextual information that could sway your opinion one way or the other, okay? So it was very clear this month that context is key and that you could miss something if you act too quickly. All right, so that's your channeled information. Channeled meaning, again, I just meditated and got some very clear information about your sign before doing the reading. Let's shuffle the cards. For those of you that join me every month, which I appreciate, by the way, you'll know that in addition to me pulling this Celtic cross, I also use Health, Wealth, Love, and Destiny and a Catalyst card. So we'll talk about all of those in a moment. Let me just pull these out quickly. Okay, great. Now let's take a look at your Catalyst card for this month, which is going to be sort of the big theme. The message was to clarify your context and not jump to conclusions, but your theme this month is about conditioning and trying to avoid the pitfalls that can come with conditioning. And I love this illustration here. There is strength in individuality. There is strength in being sort of like stepping outside of the norm or outside of all of the preconceived notions, which I was talking about earlier. So you're going to need to sort of like shock yourself out of thinking the way others do it and try to take the road less traveled and find your own way, your own thought process, and maybe do something that's unpopular because you feel it's right. Okay, so that's a very powerful message that goes along very nicely with paying attention to the context. Okay, so if we look at your central card, we have Temperance, or a card that equates to temperance here. Temperance is all about finding balance in your life, about not overdoing things. It's sort of the reverse of the Three of Cups, which is all about celebrating. Temperance is about easy does it. Now, in respect to how it is arranged here, and I believe it was reversed, what this is showing me is there's some challenge that you're going to have in keeping things central. You are either the most even-minded person in your group, and it's tough for you to always be that, or maybe this is the area where you want to sort of have fun, you want to let go. Whatever your sort of case may be, whether you're trying to break free of that mold of being the person that keeps the calm, keeps the peace, or whether you're the person this month that just has to step up and do it, this is going to make you more successful, okay? We look here at the King of Chalices, which is crossing that card, and this is a card of excess. You notice here with all the food, with the fruit, with the flowers, with the cup overflowing, all of this stuff. King of Cups means, emotionally speaking, this is where you could make a decision that has a way of backfiring on you. So try your best to not let emotions in particular rule your month. I think that's where the contextual information is going to help. That's where the conditioning is. There's an issue with that kind of going against conditioning. You're going to have to really pay attention to facts, stay even-minded, and not give in to emotions. In regards to love, this can show that you could be experiencing someone who comes completely unexpected this month, or unexpectedly, sorry. And it would likely be a water sign, lighter hair, lighter features, quite possibly, but water sign being a Cancer, Scorpio, or a Pisces, or very creative person, because cups can show creativity, artistic nature, etc. And this is someone who, notice the little B here, you want to be careful initially. You don't want to get yourself too wrapped up in their situation, and you don't want to cross them either. You don't want to mess with a bee. It's the same sort of thing here. This is a person that, when they're happy and in a great mood, wonderful things can happen, and if not, be careful. All right, so let's take a look at everything else that's going on for you. We have the horned god here in your deep past. And really what this is about is kind of connecting with your divine masculine, whether you're a male or a female, because this is all about being able to speak up for yourself, being able to take action on projects, on ideas, being able to rally support. And the other thing is it's about being able to exert control. And basically it's masculine, but it's not specifically about men. Now the reversal of this is showing me that experience may play a key role here. You may feel that you're not completely ready for a task at hand, either because you lack the experience, the support from the team, the respect from the team. And if that's the case, hunker down and just figure out how to push through. Because good leaders find a way to, I don't want to say fake it till you make it, but it is sort of that. Just in your heart and in your mind, think, I was tasked with this challenge or situation, whatever it may be. I may not be the popular choice. I may be going against the grain here. But irrespective of that sort of outward feeling on me or my worthiness to be here, I'm ready for this. And I'm going to show them through my competency. And so just really do a great job. Keep your head high. And if other people are in a lower frequency, you want to raise your frequency. It will change everything, because you get the power when you change your frequency and your perspective, rather than sort of lashing out again. We see some interesting things going on in world politics, not just the United States, but international, where there's some interesting leaders that are coming to the stage. Seems like you have both sides, the sort of rational rulers and then the ones that just emotionally act, and so we want to avoid that. You've seen how it can backfire. So anyway, what I'm looking at in your recent past here is that many of you are forced with making a decision, right, or faced with making a decision, and there's no clear path right now. And this happens sometimes where A, B, C, they may all be sort of equal. So what you need to do is what's either best for the team, or maybe in your case, if it's about career aspirations or what's best for your family, you need to pick something in your life that you can stand behind and use that to change your compass a bit. So don't feel that you are stuck in a stasis or frozen and unable to make the decision. Quickly think to yourself, what's most important? And the first thing that comes to mind, maybe it's your family, maybe it's the team, maybe it's your job security. Allow that to help you focus your decision and come away from that impasse that you might be at right now. Your crowning card is the King of Swords reversed. Communication, you need to be very mindful of the way in which you speak, and also be very prepared for people that may deliver news in a way that doesn't have sort of tact. So this could be someone that is just blunt, overly critical, unsupportive. It's a King of Swords reverse, so very masculine energy. If it comes from a female in your life, then this is someone who's very assertive. If it's a man in your life, again, the same sort of thing. I try not to put gender behind these cards too much, but what it is a very masculine and forceful card, since it's king, someone who's decisive and doesn't always listen to what's being said. So since you're fire, I'm really not seeing this as attached to you, but make sure that your decision-making process allows for external input. And if you're subject to this sort of criticism, the best thing you could do is sort of take a deep breath, pick your battle, and decide if this is the one or if you're going to just allow someone to have their way and move on and maybe win a battle down the road. It's not always about always being right. We see the Page of Pentacles in reverse in your near future, which is showing me that work in general and money situations in general are going to require more attention this month. You may have unexpected costs coming in. Some of you who may be applying for jobs or work or promotions could find that it's not as easy to get where you want to be. So there's either a setback, you're not being noticed, or you can't get that interview. What I want you to do is to persist here. The Sun card is interesting because when it's upright, it shows someone who has a really positive aura, a lot of positive energy. The reversal shows a need and a desire to be taken care of, approved. It is a need for approval, really. And so try to find within yourself a sense of success, a sense of accomplishment, and you don't need the validation, that's the word I was looking for earlier, from others. And if a job situation doesn't work out, either a promotion or a new job on the horizon, usually there's something better along the way that you haven't yet come upon, or you're being blocked for a reason. It's usually the universe trying to help you, so see it as a mixed blessing, one that you don't completely understand yet, but try not to let it get you down. For those of you that are finding success in work, again, what this is saying is just be mindful. It would be a really good time for you to take a closer look at details in your work. Pay attention to younger people around you. It doesn't necessarily mean age-wise. It could be a mentorship opportunity for you. There's people that need your help and that could benefit from it, and I feel like you may not be giving back enough for those of you that are in basically a position that allows for that. The environment is pretty favorable for you this month, I have to say, despite some sort of some interesting things with work or finance. I will say overall, if you do a good job, I see you being recognized for that work. I would love for you to stay focused on where you can succeed and how you can succeed as a group, and really know that if everybody is achieving success, especially if you're in a management position, but even if you're just in a team, the group success will make everybody look better. So everybody is elevated if you're all doing better. And this is a way for you to, again, I'm seeing a lot of opportunities with mentorship. Help younger people or less experienced people around you. And if you are one of those younger or less experienced people, seek out someone who, I would avoid the King of Swords character that I'm seeing here and go more towards the King of Cups. You really want someone who is generous with their time and energy, but I do think that for some of you that are looking for career advice, this is a good month to seek that out. Overall, all of the cards that are showing how you react with communication, money, and ideas are reversed. So it's almost as if there's a little bit of a retrograde in your communication area this month. And I want you to focus on being careful with how you perceive others and how others perceive you. Your final card is the Three of Pentacles in reverse. Pardon the siren in the background. But the Three of Pentacles in reverse is about delayed success. And it also is about, when we were talking about that need to be validated, that need to be recognized, this is saying you also need to recognize others. So sometimes what happens is we become very focused on how, what do I do for myself? How am I going to get ahead? And this isn't so much, this is more in work context, but it can also be home. It could be, what do I do to support my spouse? How do I always worrying about what's going on, how everything's looking, but not always giving positive feedback. So if you have a husband or a wife and they stay at home, or if you have somebody who is doing above and beyond and is the breadwinner, make sure that you say thank you. For whatever role, maybe you both are working hard and, there is no, maybe it's a new relationship, but what you want to do is say, I'm really grateful for having you in my life. I'm impressed with how much you work and how hard you work, and, find things that are valuable and that you appreciate about others and say it. It will open up your heart and their heart, and it's going to enable better relationships between the two of you. So recognizing somebody is very, very important this month. It's always important, but particularly this month. Let's expand your forecast and take a look at what's coming through for health. solar plexus, which is, again, right around your belly button, and this has everything to do with how you feel in a relationship, power dynamics in particular. So one thing I want you to be cognizant of is if you're feeling like someone's taking your power away, realize that in a large part, you're deciding to give your power to them. It's a difficult and sometimes abstract concept to sort of wrap your head around. But honestly, this is, with exception to certain situations where you're born into a situation where you don't have an option of getting out, maybe it's some sort of a servant, this, that, the other thing, that's something you have to work through. But a lot of times, if it's just a coworker, if it's just a family member, even blood situations, you can find a way of taking back your power and not letting people's authority, even if they're saying things that are hurtful or finding ways to belittle you, you can think to yourself, I don't have to react, and I don't have to give them power in this situation. I'm going to acknowledge it. I'm going to find a way out of this, whatever it takes. So work on increasing your power. It's going to be very important around the first week of the month, around the third of the month, etc. So I want you really to focus at the beginning of the month on power situations, taking your power back. And even, I was mentioning earlier, if you were born into a situation where you feel like you just don't have a lot of luck, make luck is some of this. Because when you look at really successful people, a lot of times it's not about where you're at your, what sort of status you're born into. It's how hard you work, how stubborn you are, how cunning you are. And I'm going to say that this month is a chance for you to open up the door a little bit. It's not about overnight everything has changed, but this is saying it doesn't matter about who you are, where you are in your life, how fortunate or unfortunate situations are. You can make a difference in the first week of the month in taking back some power, taking back some self-confidence, and allowing yourself to be more influential and more powerful in your own life. Let's take a look at your wealth. Wealth being opportunities in career, but also in life. So we have balance with Vishnu here. And one thing that I love with Vishnu is I do feel like you are going to need to multitask this month. When I looked at all of the arms on this wonderful deity here, I see that there's a need for you to not let things fall from. So you might need to, this could be for people that work 2 jobs, that are starting up a new business, or that are trying to climb the corporate ladder. If your health situation was about working on solar plexus, stomach area, confidence, which is going to affect your overall health. Your wealth situation is saying use that confidence, use that courage that you find. It's interesting that we have a lion here too in conditioning. But use that courage and sort of new sense of who you are and go for it. And don't sleep. Don't fall asleep at the wheel this month. You really want to go for broke. You need to go for all opportunities that are in front of you. Vishnu is a hard worker. The only thing that comes through with this is make sure that you do make some time to sleep. I don't want you to fall asleep at the wheel, but I do want you to at least take care of your body and make sure that you are drinking enough water, eating adequately, and getting at least 6 hours of sleep. When I sometimes people take me literally on this. So when I say don't fall asleep at the wheel, what I'm really saying is this isn't a month to just sit back and let things happen. I want you to actively pursue opportunities, actively reach out, do research, talk to people, network. That's what this is all about. You make your own success this month. It doesn't necessarily come to you or land in your lap. When we look at health, wealth, let's take a look at love and relationships. Love, including all types of love, not just romance. Courage. There's a theme here with this. And we see that basically, again, needing to break free of conditioning, needing to conjure up that courage in your own solar plexus. And then once you're balanced, finding courage to move forward in relationships. So what this means for many of you is courage to leave. If you're feeling that you no longer are either happy in a relationship, safe in a relationship, appreciated in a relationship, then it's time to move on. This can also mean taking the first step and asking someone out, going over and talking to them, swiping the right direction on a social app, whatever it is, but you take the first move this month. Don't wait for somebody. We have sometimes these ideas of a fairy tale ending, but a lot of times you need to be the author. So that's what the message is this month. Finally, when we look at destiny, which is really where you're headed. I do a month at a time, but the destiny peaks ahead at the second part of the year. So if we were to peek at the next 4 or 5 months for you, we have this music card, which is reversed. But music is about harmony. It's about finding the similarities in your life with others and using those similarities as a way to get ahead rather than focusing on the differences. So with the music card being reversed, and I usually don't read a reversal for Oracle, but I will for this, what I'm seeing is a missed or untapped opportunity to make peace with someone. Find a way to face the music, if you will, and really even out some of the kinks that you've experienced in a relationship that could have been really taxing or really trying in your life. So forgiveness will help, finding common interests will help, and realizing that there's much more that you have in common than apart. And my first card fell on the floor, so I'm not going to worry about getting that. But your channeled information was to really pay attention to the context, to clarify the context. So ask questions, hold off on everything. And just to summarize everything else, your catalyst card said you're going to have to probably go against conditioning, or you're going to have to create a new way of thinking for people. It's courage, basically. Health, focusing on your stomach area, so sit-ups, Pilates, certain yoga techniques are going to help here, but basically strengthening your core so that you have more faith, courage, energy this month to do what you need to do. Balancing out everything in your life, but really going after what's important, particularly with goals and aspirations at work. And courage when it comes to love and relationships, standing up for yourself, and also taking a chance and saying, hey, I like you, would you like to go out? Or if you're with someone, also saying, you haven't talked to me in a while, what's going on? I miss connecting with you. You're going to have to speak up. Don't wait for them. It's a fallacy to think that someone owes you an explanation. You need to talk, you need to interact, and sometimes you have to pick up the phone. Finally, focusing on the similarities, not the differences. Just looking at the overall month, a caution to not get too involved with someone else's drama, with the King of Chalices. You could meet someone that is very sort of stormy, that comes in and changes your life. Be careful with the B here. I see this as someone who you don't want to cross, and who also may be a busybody, may sort of only be in it for a quick thrill, may not stay through the rest of the month. Your goal, your job this month is with temperance to stay balanced. And we saw two different sort of manifestations of that balance card, Vishnu and this card here representing that. There's a need to harness that masculine energy, which came through again in the oracle cards. Make a decision based on the most important thing in your life. Avoid negative criticism and avoid sort of giving that criticism to others. You need to temper the way you say it. And there's a big focus here again on communication, money, and ideas. You're going to have to work to communicate those because they may not be easily conveyed. Recognizing others is really key. Trying not to feel like you need all the validation is key. People are noticing what you're doing, even if they don't say it. So it's not always important to hear you're amazing from others. Sometimes you have to demonstrate it and say, you're amazing, by the way, and mean it, not say it in a way that sounds condescending or that you're sort of fishing for a compliment. Okay, so that's everything. There was a lot of information. I know I talked fast and tried to get it all in there. I hope it resonated with you. If you have any questions, or if you need more specifically a one-on-one reading, feel free to reach out to me. There'll be a link in the corner to book that appointment. And otherwise, if you want to stay in touch with me, a great way, of course, is to click subscribe, unless you've already done that, in which case I'm really appreciative. If you'd like more sort of ways on social networks outside of YouTube, I'm on Facebook, which is pretty active, Twitter, Instagram, and also I have a newsletter. And the newsletter is probably the easiest way to know when the videos are posted. I get a lot of questions every month. If you subscribe to that, you'll be one of the first to hear whenever I post something that's important on this channel. Otherwise, and this I mean from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for the likes, the subscribes, all the comments, and all the emails that some of you just take time to send me off this channel just to say thank you. That encourages me, and I try to say thanks to those emails when they come. I can't comment on all the sort of the communication that's going on here in the comments section, but I do read it and I do appreciate it. So please keep that up. Last and most important, I just want to say that this wouldn't happen without you. So thanks for the support. And if you've ever liked to show me some appreciation as well, I'll put a link for donations, but that's completely optional. Otherwise, I'll see you again in another month as we get closer to autumn, hard to believe. So please enjoy these warm summer months if you're in the northern hemisphere, and if you're in the southern hemisphere, spring's around the corner. So just enjoy, and I wish you all the best. Take care. Sat Nam. Thank you.